are live.
Greetings and welcome to Typical Army Fuck Up, a special event here at the Untold Stories Project where we will be playing everyday heroes from Evil Genius Games. More precisely, we will be previewing the upcoming Return of the Living Dead cinematic adventure book, which will be launching on Kickstarter on May 27. I am your host and game master, Aaron. Everyday Heroes is a modern day rule set that is based on the 5th edition of the world's most popular RPG system, and in many ways it acts as an unofficial follow-up to D20 Modern. It is a D20 based system with most of the same basic rules as can be found in 5th edition. There are a variety of cinematic adventure licenses available for Everyday Heroes, including The Crow, Highlander, Escape from New York, Rambo, Kong, Skull Island, and my personal favorite, Pacific Rim. A quick warning before we get too far into things. Unlike some of our other shows and streams, this show will be rated M for mature. The movie, Return of the Living Dead, was R-rated for violence, nudity, gore, profane language, and disturbing themes and images. While we probably won't go there for all of that, expect a fair amount of cursing, body horror, murder, and similarly adult topics, along with potentially graphic descriptions of violence and gore. This show is not suitable for younger audiences and may be triggering to some adults. That said, it's not all gloom and doom for our heroes tonight. You can help them out in action by liking our stream, subscribing, or donating bits, any of which can be used to give inspiration to the hero of your choice. You can also use our channel reward system to give moral support to a player, giving them +2 to their next roll, and it's not at all probable that they might need that at some point tonight. I have a fantastic group of the living here with me tonight. Say, they're dead. They're all messed up, players.
They're dead. They're all messed up. Heroes.
Heroes, let's go ahead and have you introduce yourselves. As our players introduce themselves, our audience may find some of the names of their characters familiar, especially if you are a fan of the Living Dead films. Tell us your name, who you're playing, where else our listeners can find you, and answer our question of the week. Now, we're all familiar with the standard Romero zombie, mostly mindless, wants to eat you, can be got rid of with a headshot. But what I want to know tonight is, what is your favorite type of non-traditional zombie? And let's just do it in alphabetical order and start with Aunt Puppy.
That's great, because I didn't need inspiration from everybody else because zombie movies are not my thing. Cool. So I'm Aunt Puppy. I'm playing Barbara, which reading through her character sheet, I have made a terrible decision because I don't know how I'm going to play someone that is a caregiver and charming. It's not my forte. So, but to answer the question of the day, I mean, everyone keeps talking about it, and it's probably one of the few zombie movies that I like, and that is the 28 Days Later zombies, so like virus-based zombies. I do also like hybrid-based zombies, kind of like what I Am Legend had, where they kind of were like vampire-type zombies. So, but like, I'm not big on the like, falling apart, like gross, like that stuff creeps me out. I can't do that. But like the ones where it's like, someone got sick and then passed it along to someone and now everybody's like got some sort of case in them. Those are kind of my favorite type of zombie movies. But I've seen on both 28 Days, 28 Weeks, and I plan to go see 28 Years Later too. So I did actually like those movies, which I was surprised by. So if we're going in alphabetical order, then I will pass it over to Calvin.
Okay. Hey everyone, I'm Calvin, and tonight I am playing Judy, or Judith, who is smart and medically trained, and hopefully that will become useful in the course of this adventure. Maybe. To answer the question of the day, so having seen Return of the Living Dead literally just this morning, I mean, I guess this is probably traditional because I know that film has created several trends. But I do like the idea of the intelligent zombie, the one that has enough sense to, like, operate within its surroundings, use tools and other items. I'm sure everyone here is familiar with it if you're watching this. I really liked that moment where the zombie was just like, send more paramedics. Because up until that point, they didn't really seem that smart. And then it's like, oh yeah, you guys are boned. You're completely screwed. I think my first actual interaction with that trope would have been Marvel zombies. So I'm just going to give that credit. Well, first I remember at least. So I'll just give that credit for it. And pretend I picked something, not what we're playing tonight. And I guess to continue in alphabetical order, then technically the next person would be Deuce.
Howdy, everybody. I'm the Deuce. I'm the Captain Morgan to Kevin's Bacardi of Rum Brands of the Untold Stories Project. I'll be playing everybody's first friend, Tom, because if you were on MySpace, you're old like me and suck it up, but he was your first friend. But in this, he happens to be a mild-mannered mechanic. And just like alliteration, it's a thing we do. To answer the question of the day, my favorite non-traditional zombie is Zombie, the very colorful drink that has not one, not two, but 3 types of rum, thus naming rum for the start of this episode, a little bit of grapefruit juice, simple syrup, some cinnamon, and a little bit of absinthe, because it will make you forget whatever's bothering you, and you will act like a zombie, thus the name. So, yeah, good traditional non-traditional zombie, but will wear you out. So who could follow that but none other than Jenny? Go, Jenny, go.
Gotta follow that up. Hi, I'm Jenny. And I am playing Ben, the tough as nails soldier, with apparently a negative wisdom score, so we'll see how long he lasts. To answer the question of the day, I guess I'm gonna forgo what I was thinking and won't say it's Anytime sung by the Cranberries, and instead go with Last of Us. That the kind of, I guess I would group it in as realistic zombies. That there's a plausible reason for how they came about, and they're not undead. That once they're put down, they're put down. These are living human beings with an infection, and so chest shot is fatal. As long as you're not dealing with something special like a clicker or something like that. And I like them because it furthers the fundamental idea of the zombie of one zombie is not a threat. Lots of zombies are the threat, and it is an ever-present threat. You will eventually lose. And I like that in the idea of making it even that much more plausible, kind of ups the threat level as well. And so I just kind of like the way that it kind of doubles down on some of my favorite aspects of of zombie media. And with that, I will pass it off to Jonesy.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonesy, and tonight I'll be playing Johnny. He's the screw-up older brother, and so he's currently working as a mechanic, as a maintenance guy at the VA hospital. So hey, yay, safe place to be in a zombie outbreak. So as far as my go-to zombies, quick side note, they were not allowed to call them zombies at Sony. They were clickers, and they were not allowed to actually use the word zombie in any of the stuff. House rule by the guys in charge. It was going to be a smart aleck and say Rob Zombie, but I'm actually going to go with iZombie, the mortician from the iZombie TV show, who was basically coherent and aware and had actually cool psychic powers and stuff. She just was a little undead. So
I mean, she was coherent and clear-headed and had cool psychic powers as long as she regularly ate brains.
Well,
Details. Don't get caught up in the fine print.
That was the first time I really remember seeing zombie as a PC, as opposed to the monster of the week. So, so that is my offering for And with that, I kick it back to you, I guess, Game Master.
All right. For the record, if I had to pick a favorite non-traditional zombie, I'd probably go with the Deadites from Evil Dead. Just because I absolutely love those films. And if I had to stick with something that is actually a little bit more zombie, because if you want to get technical, they're not actually zombies, they're possessed by evil Kandarian demons. I would go with the zombies from Warm Bodies, because those are traditional zombies until they start having feelings. And then you have a whole Romeo and Juliet story with zombies, and how can you not love that? So, all right. So, it is midnight, November 10th, 1969. Players, you all find yourselves at the Pittsburgh VA Hospital in Pennsylvania. Some of you may be employed here as doctors, nurses, orderlies, working the graveyard shift. Others may be enlisted or former enlisted soldiers being treated as patients or visitors from among their families and friends. Whatever your reasons for being here, you've all noticed something strange happening over the last few days. Armed soldiers from the nearby base have been assigned to certain areas of the hospital, especially the underground basement and morgue. They have not hindered anyone from doing their duties, but they are guarding a room in the basement that they allow no one to enter. The soldiers are under the command of First Lieutenant Horace Glover, and while you have not been confined or mistreated in any way by the soldiers, their presence at the hospital strikes you as deeply odd. As we set our scene, Tom is in the front entrance, having just checked in with the receptionist on duty for his monthly inspection of the ambulances. The clutch has been sticking on number 2, she tells him. Standing nearby, at not quite attention, there is one of the Army sergeants. Judy and Ben are at the nurse's station on the first floor, chatting. While Ben has been stuck here recovering, he and Judy have stuck up a friendship over their shared love of jazz. There are a few other nurses wandering nearby the nurse's station. Barbara, you're just finishing up your dinner break, and you're headed back down to the morgue, but you've been stopped at the bottom of the stairwell by a pair of soldiers and a sergeant who are basically guarding it, and they told you that the morgue is currently being used for an experiment. You'll have to wait a bit to return to your station. Johnny, you're in the boiler room, where you are ostensibly examining the locks that are used on the hospital doors for maintenance. You're totally not looking at them so that you know how to pick them in the future, because that would be wrong. So, players, what do you guys each want to do now? We'll start with Johnny. Troublemaker that you are. By the way, before we go too deeply into it, I have in your handouts, there is a description of the various locations in the hospital, just so you guys can have a sense of what floor things are on, where you are near each other, and so on. Right now, all of you are either on the first floor or in the basement.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna scope out the boiler room and see, obviously check out the locks and see if there's anything else of note down here.
So, the boiler room has kind of been, since you're really the only person who ever goes there, you've kind of turned it into your own little workshop. And let me give you control of the workshop character sheet. In your boiler room, in addition to the tool belt that you normally keep on you, there are the makings of a full mechanics kit, a full electrician's kit, and a full burglar's kit. Not that any of those could possibly come in handy.
Don't even know why you would bring it up.
But
Obviously,
so, yeah. you have plenty of time to look through your tools and think about how you would use all of them for entirely legal reasons.
Obviously, yes.
Obviously.
Um.
Barbara, how are you reacting to being told that you can't go back to your station?
So
And remember, you can't stab anyone.
yeah, I know. I'm like trying to think I'm like, oh God, I gotta be nice. I don't know how to do that. I really don't.
Google how to be nice.
I know all my characters are mean. Don't look at my search history. How do you play a nice person? She's going to kind of just look at him and go, well, seeing as I'm the mortician here, you can't bar me from going into my location. Plus, how are you doing an experiment without me there? That seems suspicious. And she will rest her hand kind of on like his his arm, just kind of like, that seems kind of weird, like, honey.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm just following orders. I've been told that these orders come down the chain directly from the president. And right now the morgue is off limits. You are welcome to wait here until they are completed, and then you can return to your station.
Is there like an office or anything like where there's a chair? Or like
Yeah, there's a there is a there's the pharmacy down on this floor. Also the boiler room, which is where your brother is currently, is down on this floor. You could always go visit him, but you could also go hang out at the pharmacy or
No, she's gonna make it real awkward because she's really upset that they're barring her from going into her office. So she's going to find like a shitty metal like hospital chair and is going to drag it through the quiet hallway over to in front of the like in front of the security guy, and then she's just gonna kind of like sit down like kind of like prim and proper, like with her ankles crossed, and just say, she goes, okay, I'll wait, and just like awkwardly staring at him, just waiting for him to let her into her office and her space. See, not mean, just awkward.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Barbara, would you be so kind
No.
as to give me a persuasion check?
Okay. Do I just hit the word persuasion on the character sheet?
Should be able to.
Okay. I don't know if it was like I had to hit the word or like the number or something. Oh my God. Oh, that's awful.
That's not good.
Would you like to tell us what you got?
Especially since I have a +7 to persuasion. I
Yeah.
got a 10. A whole 10.
You got a 10. Okay.
Whole 10.
So the soldier is going to look at the sergeant and say, Sarge, they are technically only using the special operations room. Surely we couldn't let her back into the morgue as long as she doesn't go into the special operations room. You know what? It's more trouble than it's worth to keep you from there. So, so they will let you go back into the special operations or back into the morgue, but there is a door out of the morgue into the special room, which there are 2 soldiers standing on your side of the door, and you would guess that there are more soldiers on the other side as well.
Okay. She will also then go whoopsies and pop back out and awkwardly drag the hospital chair back to where she found it, and then we'll go back in towards the morgue.
Okay. So the morgue has everything you would expect to find in a morgue. You've got access to your dissection tools and embalming tools and all that stuff.
I was gonna ask
There-
if I could send a text to my brother, but then I realized I'm like, oh wait, this is 1969. We don't have cell phones. Just a
You could
quick
walk
text.
down the hall and knock on his door, but no, you cannot send him a text.
Well, I was trying to think of like I didn't want to I just made my way back here after awkwardly making the guy open the door for me. I wanted to be able to send a message and be like, this is weird. Do you know anything about it? But I can't text him.
You know,
So, like-
even in 1969, there might be an inter-hospital
So I was
phone.
thinking
you could use.
like a comm system,
Pneumatic tubes.
like a there's just a string and a cup on either end.
No,
No,
like the
you-
bank tubes. You put them in there and shoots to the other rooms.
Yeah. For the record, you know that your morgue is capable of holding about 20 bodies. Well, 20 bodies exactly. You
20
would know
bodies.
exactly how many.
I'm assuming 20 bodies and just like the rolling freezers, right?
Right.
Not we don't have like a giant cooler where we just kind of keep them.
No.
Okay.
Currently, there are 12 bodies in your morgue.
Okay.
Um,
Can I see can I see in the like in the room in the is there like a window that I can see in?
there is a window, however, it is one of those very small reinforced glass with like the wire frame in it. And the two soldiers who are on your side of the door are pretty effectively covering it.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was like one of those like the long like skinny ones where I could kind of like as I walk by
No.
look into the room.
No, it's basically big enough that you can push your face up against the glass, and that's about it.
Okay. So she'll go back into her like office area and will use I'm assuming some sort of intercom speaking device to see if she can page her brother in. She's assuming he'll be where he always is, in the boiler room.
I say he'd probably either be in the boiler room or the electrical room. But
Okay. She'll try the electrical room first, and then she'll try the boiler room.
okay, there's no answer in the electrical room. And I don't know, is there an answer in the boiler room?
Eventually, there is.
Fair enough.
Well, it's on the other table, and it's I have to, I got stuff, and hands are full, and well,
You just
I'm
hear it beep once, and then it comes a lot quicker, and then a lot quicker each time.
I just assume it's one of those old style rotary phones that has the little plastic hard multiple buttons that you click for whichever line you want with the little flashy
Little flashing light for each line that comes up.
Yep.
Jonesy, one other thing you would be aware of is that the boiler room, in addition to having the boiler, it is also where the hospital's water, heating, and ventilation are all controlled.
Cool.
You would also know that the room is typically kept locked, although obviously you have a key.
Yeah, I assume I have one of those giant rings of keys.
Yep.
Clank,
Yeah,
clank,
they're
clank,
cute.
clank.
So
Yeah, so I eventually make my way back from my workstation across to the other station. Yo, what's up?
Okay, so don't freak out, but this is very weird. There's like a bunch of soldiers down here, and they're not allowing me access. Well, first they wouldn't let me into the morgue, and then they told me I can't get into the special operations room. Do you know anything about what's going on here?
No, I hadn't heard anything. I mean, they've been hanging out here for a couple weeks now, but they've been here for a couple of weeks, but trying really hard to be,
Yeah,
unobtrusive. So
yeah, they said they were doing a special experiment. But what are you experimenting on? And that I wouldn't know about. Like, it's my morgue. Like, just, I don't like this. I didn't like it when they first showed up, but now it's even worse.
has anyone else, heard anything or seen anything?
I don't know. I don't feel like I've not heard from anyone say anything about like that they've been hindered from doing their work, just that they're just here, which is weird to begin with, but I mean, it is what it is. But like, not that they've gotten in the way. Hmm.
Wait, hold up a second. I grab the phone. And I kind of do the lean thing so I can hold the earpiece to my head for those kids who don't remember what that looks like. And I grab the phone and kind of pull it with the little tethered cord and try to get over to see. Does it look like anything's being diverted or like with the boiler room or any of the water or ventilation? Is any meters look off or anything looks seem weird?
Yeah, no, not right now.
Okay. Yeah, they don't look like they're doing anything, pulling extra juice or anything from the system or anything. So, you want me to swing by and check it out? Or
Yeah, I mean, if you can figure out a way to get in there, I mean, I tried to persuade the guard to let me in further, but that didn't work. So, yeah, or if you, So who are I forgot who you said who the nurses were that were here.
So the head of nursing is Judy.
Okay.
There are other nurses on, but you and Judy, you both work at the hospital. You may not be friends, but you definitely know each other since you're both,
Okay.
heads of your respective areas.
I feel like most people probably in the
colleagues.
hospital don't really love the mortician.
No,
Probably the
but
last person they want to see ever. Okay. Okay. So yeah, if you want to see if you can come down here and get some more information from those boys, I'm going to try and call Judy and see if she's heard anything.
all right, we'll get back to you guys.
Okay.
Judy and Ben. The two of you, like I said, are at the nurse's station. Judy, you're ostensibly there to, direct the night shift, although it's a fairly quiet night. Of course, it's a terrible idea to ever say it's a quiet night at a hospital, but you guys don't have a huge population of patients at the moment. There are about 10 patients here on the first floor, all of whom are, well, 9 actually. 9 patients here on the first floor, all of whom are in fairly serious condition, most of whom are heavily medicated. They're critical but stable. There are 5 patients up on the second floor, which is the neuropsychiatric ward. And then there are 8 patients on the third floor, all of whom are recovering from mostly minor wounds. Ben, you had a bed here on the 8th or on the third floor in that wing, but you are well enough. You're going to be discharged tomorrow, so you are certainly capable of getting up and walking around the hospital, going to eat at the cafeteria yourself instead of waiting for someone to bring something to your room, all of that stuff. So yeah, you guys are just kind of sitting. Well, she's working and you're chatting with her across the.
Look, all I'm saying is if we expanded the idea of the VA to be accessible to everyone, we could avoid some kind of, I don't know, giant health crisis in 50 or 60 years.
That's
Not subtle.
Hi, I'm Jenny. Have we met?
Well, that's some awful specific thinking, Ben. But I guess it makes sense for where you've been for the last few days. And Judy herself, she is just like, after like directing whichever nurses are on staff to, like when she is aware that the patients on the first floor are in stable condition, she is a bit more relaxed than she may have been before that. But yeah, she is just having this conversation because it's midnight and she needs something to do, and she enjoys the company of this patient, who probably shouldn't be in the nurse's office, but it's fine.
Well, you're not in an office. It's the nurse's station, so it's accessible
Okay.
from anyone walking down the hall.
Fair enough. But
Did you
she,
hear Coltrane is coming to town?
I did hear, hoping to get some time off.
Somebody help me. Coltrane is time appropriate to 69, right?
I can't help you.
We're gonna go ahead and say yes.
I'm just yes ending. I'm hoping to get some time off. I mean, there's been some activity here. There's something going on in the basement that I still don't know about, and I'm really hoping it's not going to end up being a big problem.
So,
That what?
just to briefly interject, in a way that is in no way, shape, or form relevant to this adventure, but John Coltrane died in 1967. So if he's coming to town,
The zombies have already started.
This adventure's got legs. I like it. All right.
sorry, continue.
Alternate timeline.
Exactly.
Oh, is that what all the heightened security is about?
Yeah, it seems to mostly be in the basement. They haven't really gotten in my way as much, but it's pretty noticeable. It's making some of the other patients kind of nervous.
It is kind of strange.
Judy, one thing you do that is of note is while they haven't gotten in your way, anytime you go down into the pharmacy in the basement, you kind of have to, like, they're not guarding the door to the pharmacy, but they are definitely keeping an eye on who goes in and out of the pharmacy.
Okay. And since that's not something other people would typically know, she will like lean forward and lower her voice a bit and just say, "Yeah, every time I've gone to the basement getting any supplies or anything from the pharmacy, they've been really on edge about a certain door."
What do you think that's about?
And then she just shrugs. Beats me. I didn't really think it was a good idea to ask. Kind of feels like less I know, less I have to worry about a situation.
I guess that's fair.
So, Tom, you're in the receptionist's office at the front entrance, or not office, but desk. You know that you need to go take a look at the ambulances. The entrance to the motor pool is down in the basement. You also know that, your girlfriend, Judy, is at the nurse station. So, how direct of a route you feel like taking is up to you.
Happy meandering a little bit. Just thank Jolene for letting me in as always. I appreciate it. I'm going to, transmissional 114. Got it. Okay. I'll take a look. And pull my hat down a little bit because I don't feel like staring at this nice GI here who might or not be armed, might or might not be armed. And let's take a nice family circus route. So around
Oh, he
over
definitely
here.
is armed.
Oh, yeah, we'll go around and around this way and over here and maybe past the nurse's station and see who's around.
Judy, I didn't want to say anything, but have you noticed the way that receptionist looks at your boyfriend every time he comes in?
This feels like something I should know about. But no, I hadn't noticed anything.
Oh, I don't know. She takes a little more than a passing interest. I think she might be trying to steal your man.
I don't know. I hear that hospital food makes you see things. Are you just trying to start trouble here?
Tom,
No.
you will
I
walk
just think there's
past
something
the,
suspicious about the name Jolene, that's all.
Tom, you will walk past the nurse's station. You will see Judy is sitting there talking with a patient who is a soldier. Well, He's not wearing a uniform, but he has that bearing of a military man. He's a rather tall black man, muscular, well built. I mean, you could take him, but
He will, as awkwardly as possible, pull off his hat and kind of roll it up in his hands and go, "Hey, hi, hi, Judy, and sir. I guess you're working hard. Well, you're always working hard. Good. It's good to see you."
She'll just reply with, "Hi, Tommy," and of course I am. It's hard work o'clock, as she sort of gestures to the currently well, not unoccupied, but the station is just occupied by her and one other person.
Yeah, I don't know how you do it, but well, I guess I'm gonna go take a look at the trucks, and maybe if you haven't had a late night snack, I can bring you something or some coffee.
I wouldn't say no to some coffee, actually.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, sir? I'm Tom, by the way, and he'll kind of awkwardly let go of his hat and hold out a hand.
Ben, nice to meet you. A cup of coffee sounds great. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. It shouldn't take a little bit. They said 114's acting up, but yeah, I'll be back some here just a little bit.
Well, don't take too long.
so as the clock hits midnight, almost as if on cue, a thunderous noise erupts outside, followed by a flash of lightning. You then hear the telltale pitter-patter of rain starting to pelt the hospital windows. Another crack of thunder follows. This one sounds closer. The hospital lights flicker in response before the next flash of lightning illuminates the sky. Then a third thunderclap blasts through the night air. Only this one sounds different. It's followed by another, and another. And you all suddenly realize that these are not thunderclaps, they're gunshots. Sounds of shouting and screaming follow, all coming, well, for those of you on the upstairs, from the staircase down the main hall, which leads down to the morgue. And for those of you down in the basement, coming from the special operations room.
So I regret my decision, and I would like to backtrack everything I did before, and I would like to just go upstairs.
I mean, that is certainly an option.
Can we,
so
us down in the basement hear the gunshots, or is it like people near windows can hear the gunshots?
So for you and Johnny, who are down in the basement, the gunshots are very loud.
Okay. Oh, they're coming from downstairs.
They are coming from inside the special operations room.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then, oh man, I regret all of my decisions right now.
They're coming from right on the other side of that door.
Yep, this is early regret for me.
I'm
to be perfectly frank, leaving is an option. But let's go around the table real fast and just see what everyone wants to do in response to the gunshots. And we'll start with Calvin.
So Judy was maybe startled by the unexpected lightning at first, and then perhaps shaken a bit by the sudden gunfire, so she gets up from her seat, moving over to Tommy. Just like startled, confused. Why are they shooting? Is there something? She's trying. Her first thought is there's got to be something going on outside, but then quickly puts together that the sound is coming from like below.
Okay. Tommy. Or Tom.
He will tense up quite a bit when he realizes it's gunfire. Looking back to Judy when she comes over, he's going to put one arm around her to somewhat reassure her. You kind of hold her close, and looking around, looks back towards reception to see if the GI is still there, and you kind of yell at him like, "Hey, I think there's something going on downstairs," and kind of point towards wherever the nearest access is. So whether the GI knows or not, maybe guide him towards that direction since he's armed and I'm not.
He is already moving towards the stairs, although you will perhaps notice that he is not going down, he is going up.
Soldier, I think it's
Following my orders.
Downstairs? But they're shooting down. Okay.
There are 3 soldiers who were over in the cafeteria. They all start making their way down the stairs. But the sergeant was going up.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
I'm a soldier with military tradition and military training and like all this special feature military stuff all over my character sheet. Would it be reasonable to say that, you know, when the gunshots went off, I went into hyper alert mode and might have heard over the radio what those orders were that led him to go upstairs and while everybody else is going down?
No, because in this case, he did not receive new orders. He is acting on prior orders of, if you hear X, you need to go secure this objective.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Now, you could probably, if you were to go try to speak with any of the soldiers, then you could use your military background to gain an advantage on a check to talk with them, but
I'll wait until my turn.
okay. Well, I was actually going to go to you next since you're standing there with Tom and Judy.
Well, what I am going to do is do a quick assessment, realize I'm in a hospital gown, look over to Tom and say, get to the other side of the desk. Both of you get your heads down, and I'll be right back. And I'm going to go put on some actual clothes.
Okay.
For
the record, because you are close enough to being discharged, I would say that if you wanted to be in clothes and not a hospital gown,
okay,
you could do, not your fatigues, but like civilian clothes.
Okay. I actually am going to go ahead and change though and get into military clothes.
Okay.
There's something going wrong at the military hospital. I need to get orders and figure out how I can help.
All right. Down in the basement, Barbara, what do you want to do?
Crying's a free action, right?
Crying is always a free action.
Can also be a full round action if you really want.
So, okay, so there were 2 guys on the outside that I could see in the hallway, and then there was perceived that there would be more people, obviously, on the inside, but I could only see the 2 men that were standing outside. Where did they go?
So as soon as the shots started, they have they opened the door and went inside. You will notice when they do so that there is a strange green gas that is billowing out from the bottom of the door when it is opened. But the 2 soldiers who were outside the door have now gone into the special operations room.
So as soon as I see the green gas, I'm going to hit what I presume would be an emergency lockdown button for the morgue.
That sounds like technology that does not exist in 1969.
Fuck, god damn it, why are we in 1969? Oh.
I mean,
there would be some sort of safety protocols.
In the morgue?
Lock the door.
You can lock the door.
How would... I guess this had to happen in order for them to put in safety protocols, so... Oh my god.
But like I said, you can also decide that you don't want to be next to the guns and leave the room.
I absolutely do not, but I the gas makes me uncomfortable in the sense of I don't know what it is.
Uh-huh.
I don't know where it can go. So she will then just shut and lock her office door or whatever, like the main morgue area that isn't the actual like mortician portion of it,
Mhm.
and will put towels or whatever fabric type things she can put to cover the edge of the door and will just duck and cover under her desk.
Okay. Johnny, what do you do when you hear gunfire coming from down the hall?
So with the first clap of thunder, I'm assuming, storm's coming in. So I grab my walkie-talkie. So I'm assuming probably like a maintenance walkie-talkie or something. And
Sure.
some duct tape and some and probably a wrench or something, because I was going to do a perimeter walk to say, hey, are there any leaks? Is anything coming in? Any rain coming in? Because it's an older building. But that's after the first thunderclap, which I think it's a thunderclap. And so by the time I start heading to the door, as the second, third one goes off, I realize it's what it actually is, and then I'm just going to bolt down the hallway towards the morgue because my sister is working down there. So.
Yep. All right. So as you burst into the morgue, you will see that the door to the special operations room is cracked open, and you notice the same strange green gas kind of seeping out from where it is ajar. The smell is terrible. And it smells like something crawled into a pipe, died 30 years ago, and then suddenly was released. You also will get in there just as you see the office, in the morgue office door close, and hear it click, which you would guess that's where your sister has gone.
Call the fire department as loud as I can, hoping that Barbara can hear me. If I can, I'd like to, grab my shirt and kind of tuck it up over my nose and mouth and stuff, and hold my breath and kind of run towards the door and kind of pull it shut.
Okay. At this point, I'm going to move you guys not to a map, because a map would have been unwieldy. As it is, this is almost unwieldy. But to a page I have set up in Roll20 that is basically a list of all the hospital locations and where people are. It is organized by floor, although the basement is down at the bottom instead of being above the... The placement of the boxes on the room are not necessarily indicative of how close the rooms are to each other, but and I would like all of you to give me an initiative check.
Seems unnecessary. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there. Oh, no. Oh, fuck.
I saw there it is. I saw this earlier.
Well, that was time it yelled at me for not clicking on my token when I rolled initiative.
Fair, I'm moving myself up to the nurse's station since it says I'm in the patient wing.
Well, you went to your room to get changed, didn't you?
Oh, that's right, I did. Duh.
That's why I put you in the patient wing.
That makes sense.
Here to put me
Sounds
on.
like sounds like your character's in the inpatient wing. Trying to rush like the military guy into the fray.
Tom, you had a
20.
20. And who else didn't actually get placed on there? Johnny did not get on them.
Did I not click it right? I apologize.
I think you clicked it right. You just may not have had your token selected.
Yeah, mine yelled at me. Mine was like, we wanted to do this. but you didn't select a token. I was like, oh shit, okay. It gave me a 0. It was like, no, like we're not doing anything for you.
It's like, you're a loser.
Yeah,
I'm not
it was
gonna
like,
do
all
that.
right, you're dead.
All right.
Thanks, Dice Roller.
Let me roll initiative for a couple of. Oh, damn it! I knew I forgot to import something. Oh well. I can do it manually. Fuck it, I'll do it live.
Yeah.
Fix it in post. Fix it in post.
Yeah.
Okay, so I did Google safety protocols in a hospital in the US, and there are 0. The only safety protocol was to wash and sterilize your equipment and your hands. That was how they prevented all diseases.
Well,
Yeah.
that's before or after you did, you went onto your 17th smoke break for the day.
Yeah. I was like, there's got to be something. They had to have some sort of like, there's a containment like thing. There had to be something. No, there's literally nothing.
No smoking in the ear and a shot of laudanum to steady your hands.
Yeah. I was like, oh, that's glad I wasn't born in the 60s.
All right. Let me resort
Oh my
that.
god, I'm starting right with a zombie jar. I hate
What?
every decision I've made so far.
All right. So, Johnny, you are at the top of the initiative. And you said you wanted to move over towards the gas or towards the door and try to slam the door closed?
Yes, I'm gonna pull the door closed if possible. What I'd like to do is try to pull the door closed, and if it's still coming out from like under the door and stuff,
Mhm.
I've got duct tape, and I'm gonna try to duct tape because duct tape works for everything.
You're just gonna duct tape me in there?
You're not in the
Special operations room.
Oh, you're doing the special. I thought you were doing like the whole morgue. You're just like, nah, she's dead. She's gone.
Sister, you're safe. I'm sealing you in.
Yeah. Godspeed.
No,
Beautiful.
I was yelling for you to call the fire department.
Oh, you'll just see a hand come up with a thumbs up as she's like looking around for the phone where she set it down.
What'd you do during the adventure? I cowered. 4 hours of cowering. It was good.
Valid choices.
Strong play.
All right. Johnny,
So
as you try to close the door and tape it shut, I'm going to give you a +2 to the roll because you've got your shirt over your mouth. But I need a Constitution save. Or a Dex save, whichever is better, which in your case I'm almost certain is Dex.
And Johnny dies.
He dies. He dies.
Not right away.
No.
17? Lucky
Okay.
17?
Is that with the +2?
No, that's not with the +2.
Okay, so 19.
19.
Okay. You as you are, you slam the door shut. You start applying tape because there is still gas seeping out underneath. Where the gas touches your arm as you're trying to tape it down, it burns. Not enough to do damage, but you are at least, however, fairly certain that you managed to not inhale any of it. You
With
think-
that, I will immediately say, "Yep, screw that." And, I will scramble back. I figure it's one of those. I lean down to do it. When I burned me, I kind of like fell back on my butt, and I'm sort of like kind of do that crab walk, scramble away from the door, kind of horror movie move.
Uh-huh. All right. Tom,
Well,
you've been told by Ben to take cover, but are you going to do that?
assuming my little lady's going to check on her patients, I'm going to go over to the nearest access to the basement and
Uh-huh.
shut it and or lock it and or barricade it.
Okay. So is at the end of the hallway, there is a staircase down to the basement and up. There is also an elevator. There is a security door on the staircase, so you can certainly slam it shut. You don't have the keys to lock it, but you can at least slam it shut. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, sounds good. Just try and secure this area right now, so
Okay.
make it a little safer for us. And hit the. Well, let's do the stupid thing too. Call the elevator, so if it comes up to this floor, I can hit the emergency stop until I find out it's full of stuff I don't want to deal with, and we'll deal with that later. But that's a future me problem.
Fair enough. Yeah, you can call the elevator. Barbara, you hear a lot of commotion on the other side of the door, including hearing Johnny's voice say, "Call the fire department."
Yeah, so she'll basically see like through the window, because I'm assuming it kind of has like a little bit of a hallway, and there's kind of, because it's an office, that it had like big window. Just sees like the thumbs up go above, like over a table out the window, and then she just kind of like groping around for the phone and stands up, and I'm assuming as she kind of stands up is when she sees Johnny trying to duct tape and burning and falling back, and she forgets that she's supposed to be calling 911 or the like. Was 911 around then? Now you guys have me worried about everything I say. Every safety thing, I'm like, were they around then? So she's just kind of holding the receiver in her. The receiver is, for those of you guys that don't know what a receiver is the end of the phone that you talked into and you heard people from. So she's
talking to
record.
phones.
911 officially became a nationwide emergency number in 1968.
Okay, so still new. So she wasn't quite sure what number she was supposed to use. So she's holding the receiver in her hand. She sees what's happening to Johnny and kind of just like doesn't quite finish typing in 911. So she got like 9-1 and was about to hit 1, sees it happen, and goes and unlocks the door, pulling it open to let. Or yeah, I guess it is there's no button.
Quick, what's the number for 911?
Yeah. And we'll unlock the door to kind of wave Johnny into the room that she's in.
Okay. Ben, you managed to get upstairs, and depending on how much time you want to spend, you can basically, as one action, you can throw on your fatigue jacket and a hat. You do not have, a issued weapon with you, but as you may have noticed from your inventory, you do have a little holdout pistol that you've kept on you.
I did not see that in my inventory.
It's there.
So yeah. Can I take a full round action and get the pants on?
Sure, if you want.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and oh yeah, there it is. Yeah. I'm just gonna take the whole round. Get myself. I mean, I'm disheveled, but I'm fully clothed in military fatigues.
All right. Honestly, most of the round is just lacing your boots.
Probably, yeah.
All right, Judy.
Judy is she sees Tommy go off, and she is going to like go do her own duty. She will get a first aid kit just in case, and then she will head off to check on the patients, starting with the ones in the most serious condition on the first floor. And if there are any nurses that she runs into, she will sort of like direct them to do the same as well. She'll probably since she is in charge of nursing, she will send some up to the other floors, but she herself will stay on this first floor, just making sure everybody is okay, and then like constantly being distracted, looking towards the direction that Tommy went in.
Okay. So yeah, you'll disperse the nurses. to the various floors. The checking on the patients on the first floor. I mean, good news, bad news. Most of them are in no condition to even notice that anything has gone wrong. Most of them are under sedation, on breathing like iron lung machines and whatnot. Nobody in this room is going anywhere or doing anything without a whole lot of assistance from the outside.
Okay.
But that also means they're not freaking out or panicking because most of them aren't able to notice.
Then yeah, I mean, I think her priority would still just to be. I mean, even though they are like medicated and not really able to notice what's going on, she still wants to make sure they stay stable in case there is whatever emergency there is. These people would be in the most dangerous condition.
Absolutely. Nope, that makes total sense.
And it does also help keep her closer to the basement door or wherever Tommy went.
Okay. Back down in the basement, Johnny and Barbara. Suddenly, the door to the specials operation room is flung open. You see a soldier come stumbling out of the room backwards. Clutching onto him, screaming ferociously, is what appears to be a patient, but her gown is missing. She is completely nude. She is deathly pale. Her eyes are a milky white, and her gums are receded. And she looks as if she is trying to grab the soldier's head and bite into it. Barbara, you notice first that there is a Y-shaped scar incision on her chest, which is the sign that she has had an autopsy performed. Before you can make any further sense of the scene, however, she screams, "Brains!" and sinks her teeth into the soldier's skull.
Sexy.
What?
Said sexy.
Not so much. The door to the special operations room is wide open now. You had it taped, Johnny, but the ferocity of the soldier and the very, very ill woman managed to just slam it open even with the tape, which does also mean that the gas is starting to leak out again as well. You will see from the open door that inside the room, in addition to this patient, there are 3 other soldiers, as well as Lieutenant Glover and Harry Cooper. Harry Cooper is the civilian liaison with the Army for this project. Glover and Cooper are wearing gas masks, although the other 3 soldiers do not. The 3 soldiers who are in the room seem to be reloading their guns, and Lieutenant Glover is going to shout to one of the soldiers to get to the boiler room and vent out this gas. And Harry Cooper is going to make his way over towards the stairs. All right. That is the first round. Johnny.
So I am kind of in the main little entranceway near where the zombie attack is taking place. In relationship to the door, is my sister behind me and close to the door, or the like out of the morgue area, or is she further in the morgue area?
Um, let's see. I think at the moment your sister. Well, I'll let you two to kind of decide where you two are in relation to each other because you were both kind of moving to help each other. So, and puppy, you're muted.
Thank you. She kind of unlocked the door and then like pulled it open and then kind of didn't like, retreat backwards, but would have moved backwards back towards kind of like the corner area where, her desk is and stuff to finish that rotary phone call she was making.
Uh-huh.
But is that an office? Is that like the mortician's office?
Yeah.
Oh. Which I'm guessing that is probably the only way in and out of that office is that one door. So,
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
Like I
So-
said, I've regretted every decision I've ever made this whole game.
so is there a door out of the morgue area into the rest of the hospital and upstairs between us? Like, what? Basically, is there a zombie in front of the door, or can we get to the door without the zombie?
If you wish to get to the door that would take you back into the hall and or upstairs, you can get to it without getting closer to the zombie. Yes.
We're just gonna scooch on by.
So,
Although you
Uh.
don't think you can do that and not at least attract the attention of the zombie.
so what I want to do is I'm going to hold my action
Okay.
because I'm going to yell, Barbara, run upstairs, get upstairs now, and I'm going to be pointing towards the door. Kind of doing it like I'm kind of like half looking towards her, but I'm trying to keep an eye on the zombie. So I'm kind of like doing the get to the door, get upstairs now, go.
Okay.
I'm right behind you, go. And then I'm gonna hold my and then I basically want to hold my action till my sister can go, and then I'm gonna make my way out of the that area as well. I plan on heading down towards the boiler room.
Okay. Tom, what are you doing? You can hear all of that action down down the stairs. But you are currently blocking, doing your best to barricade the door and waiting for the elevator to come to your floor.
Yeah. Well, the elevator thing sounded great at the time, so let's just go to the doors back to the patient wing and grab some of a row of the put together far too heavy chairs and kind of drag them in front of the doors into this wing. It may slow something down, but it'll work. And check on, I guess, look back, check on Judith. See, you okay? Everything all right?
Yeah, the patients are okay. What the hell's going on over there?
I don't know, but I shut the doors, so we'll let the soldiers handle it, and he rifle through his toolbox and pull out a large stainless steel flashlight, because annoyingly all flashlights were giant in that time. It's what you do in case the lights go out. But I think we'll just, if the patients are okay and you're okay, that's what's important. We'll wait here and see what the soldiers say.
Well, if anyone's hurt down there, they're gonna need my help.
Yeah, but it still sounds like whatever's going on is going on, and you don't think you should go down there while people are fighting?
Okay, well, what if we just call for help then? I mean, we're in a military hospital. Sure, we can get someone here quickly.
Isn't that who went down there?
Well, maybe more help?
Oh, yeah. If you want to call out, I'll keep an eye out if anyone tries to come up this way, and I'll let you know if I see anyone.
I can talk to the receptionist.
Okay.
She's gonna
And
follow.
I'll post up here by the door into the patient wing and kind of keep a look on the doorway and the other eye on Judith.
Okay. So Tom is now kind of by the patient wing, and Judith is heading over to the receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
The reception and the patient wing are joining, right?
Essentially.
Okay.
Barbara.
So she will hear Johnny telling her to run, and she will kind of look around at what she can grab, and she will see kind of like her autopsy bag
Mhm.
and like her scapula, like all of her tools, and she will grab them with the assumption that obviously she's going to need assistance and she doesn't have a gun. And also there's probably going to be lots of dead bodies. She's going to have to figure out what's going on with them. So she's going to grab them and then kind of throw on her lab coat and some safety goggles because she saw it burn Johnny. So she's like, I don't want
Mhm.
whatever is happening to happen to me. And she will be like, I'm not going to leave you behind. We go together or we don't go at all.
You will notice at this point that the naked woman, her teeth have cracked through the soldier's skull, and you can see exposed brain matter, which it seems almost like she's eating the brains. He is, by the way, very dead.
At least that's one positive there. Not alive while this is happening to him. But yeah, she will basically be like, no, like panicking, like, no, we've got these tools. I'm not leaving without you. We either go together or we don't go at all.
I need you to get upstairs and get with the others and call the fire department to deal with whatever this leak is. I want to go try to vent the gas so it doesn't spread to the rest of the hospital.
Safety in numbers? She's just doing whatever she can to try and convince him to come with her, like right now. Safety in numbers? Like, please? How much younger is Barbara than Johnny?
Couple of years.
Okay, so they're not like, a year apart. They're like,
I'm definitely the big brother.
You are
Okay.
definitely the big brother, but it's not like a case where like he's practically an uncle. Like,
right, okay. So I wasn't like a child and he was like a grown up when I was born. It was just it's
no,
kind of
you're like
the
3 or
standard-
4 years apart.
Okay. But yeah, she'll just keep going like, no, there's safety in numbers. Like we have to go together. You hold this thing and I hold this thing, and then we can just go and just not deal with that.
With that, I'm gonna fine, whatever. You're always a pain. And with that, I'm gonna grab her and have basically kind of run/drag her behind me down towards the boiler room.
Okay.
And she will just kind of be holding the scalpel out in one hand while he's dragging her with the other, just kind of like unguarding to the zombie, just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but if it gets close, I'm going to poke it really hard with this scalpel.
Okay. I'm gonna move some soldiers around as they're rushing around following orders.
Yeah, my plan is to try to get to the boiler room so I can vent the gas, but
Uh-huh.
let's see how that goes.
It's a good plan. When you are in the hallway, you will see that there are two soldiers and the sergeant kind of guarding the hallway, guarding the door, basically making sure that nobody is coming closer to it. They will see you, but seeing that you are moving towards the boiler room, they're not gonna do anything.
Yeah, by all means, just let the civilians. Oh.
That is an expendable wall we just passed. I mean,
I do like the fact though that you have the director. I'm assuming that little picture is that Hamburger from Perry Mason.
Yes.
Okay. I was like looking at it, I was like, why does he look familiar? And then I zoomed in, I was like, oh my god, that's Hamburger.
Okay. Ben, you are done changing. The other patients in the wing have now been well and thoroughly woken from the noise. They're all somewhat tired and groggy, but you also know that they are all civilians. There are 3 nurses who are up here now. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna be a good soldier and find someone higher ranking than me and get orders.
Okay. In the hall on the second floor, you will not, or on the third floor, you will not see any other military personnel from the hallway.
Okay. Then I will head downstairs because that's towards the direction of the problem, and so that's towards the direction where I'll be needed.
Okay. When you get to the down towards the second floor on the stairway, you see 3 soldiers who are running up the stairs, seeming to try to go back up to the 3rd floor.
What's going on? Where do you need me?
We don't know the details. We just know that we were told if shit goes sideways, we needed to secure the director and the records room. You're not on our roster, but you're welcome to come with us, or if you want to see what help you can be downstairs, by all means, go for it.
They're gonna need all the help they can get with the actual threat. I'm gonna head down.
All right. You'll get one more stairway down. You will see a couple of things. First, you will see Harry Cooper, slightly out of breath, having run up from the basement. He is banging on the doorway of the stairwell out onto the 1st floor, saying, "Let me out of here!"
So he's on the first. So wait. So he's in the stairwell trying to get into the 1st floor.
Yep. And he will see you and say, "You, Private, clear this door for me."
I will attempt to do so.
Ben, would you give me a strength check?
I would prefer to just shoot out the lock.
You can do that, but the issue is not that the door is locked. The issue is that it is barricaded.
Ah, then I will give you a strength check. Can it be an athletics check?
It absolutely can be an athletics check.
But that's 2 higher, which is a +4, so not exactly great, but I rolled 19 and got a 23 though.
All right. Ben, with a mighty shove, you shoulder into the door, causing it to crash open, sending a just avalanche of chairs and desks that look to have been hastily shoved in front of it. Tom, you hear that? Something from the base. Huh?
Oh, crap.
Something, whatever's down in the basement seems to have gotten out.
It's like the only time everyone's hoping it's just a serial killer or something. Like,
And Harry Cooper, as soon as the doors open, is going to shove his way past you out into the hallway. Doesn't even say thank you. Jerk. Judith.
Judith is heading to the receptionist desk to see if she is calling for either police, fire, any sort of emergency service.
She is on the phone and has dialed 911.
Okay.
Because we now know that that is a thing in 1969.
I don't know if there's maybe there's this brief suspicious glance after the comment Ben made earlier. But since she is doing something helpful, then Judy is going to instead go looking for Tommy, or for Tom, since she's the one who calls him Tommy.
You can call me Tommy. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, you can see Tom because he's was kind of keeping an eye on you from the patient wing. You do see the door to the stairwell get shoved open, and you see Harry Cooper stepping out looking like a madman.
Mr. Cooper, do you know what's going on?
Well, first of all, he also has a gas mask on.
Oh. Then she will not say that. She will say, "What's going on?"
Accident down in the basement. We gotta lock the hospital down.
Is anyone sick down there?
Yes, very.
And she will start to move as if she would head in that direction.
Like heading towards the stairwell?
Yeah.
Oh, you brave, stupid, brave person. Judith, have a point of inspiration.
I'll take it.
Oh, I forgot I have inspiration.
I'm trying to think if anyone is actually able to see what is happening in the morgue or not at this point. Say Johnny and Barbara are in the hall making their way over to the boiler room. Yeah, I'm just going to put all these guys on the GM layer because there's some stuff going on in here.
I didn't mention it, but I am following the guy in charge.
You're following him out? Okay. So then Ben follows Harry Cooper out of the stairwell. Ben is not wearing a gas mask.
Ben's a patient.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that would change her thought because Ben's a patient and Harry Cooper seems to be in charge of something in the basement.
Yeah. Ben is a patient, although he is now wearing military fatigues. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like I said, there's some shit going on down in the basement. More gunfire is coming from the morgue and the special operations room. Johnny, you and Barbara can get into the boiler room.
So yeah, we're gonna try to get in the boiler room and then try to get to the boiler and actually vent the gas.
Okay. That sounds like a mechanics check. DC 12.
I'm double checking my special.
You've got some special stuff for mechanics, don't you?
Yeah, I have got handy, which means I get to perform this
Added it with advantage.
with advantage. Yep. So how do I just roll twice, I guess? I don't know how I don't know how to turn on the advantage thing on the sheet. I'm not.
I can turn it on for you too. Hold on a second.
No worries. I just haven't really used this sheet a whole lot, so I'm not familiar with the Roll20 sheet. So
there you go.
Can I use a bonus action?
What does your bonus action do?
My bonus action is I can motivate an ally to temporarily gain 2 hit points equal to the result plus the charisma modifier. There's a lot of words. I don't know what that means.
Basically, you can give somebody temporary hit points by inspiring them.
It'll be really handy once we start getting like
fighting. Yeah. Okay. Because I'm like thinking she would see you going off and doing something, and she'd just be standing there like trying to be brave and be like, "You can do it." But I can only do it to one ally that can hear me, so that's why I was like, "Well, this is perfect." But
an important thing to also note is you can only do it each time you use it. You have to use one of your influence points, and you only have 3 of those.
Okay.
But yes, you can give extra bonus hit points to someone. You can also reduce damage someone takes from something by basically saying, "No, watch out."
Okay.
All right. So, Jonesy, what did you get for your mechanics check?
17.
Okay. That is more than enough. Although it's a good thing you had advantage because an 11 would not have done it. Yeah, you're able to get the ventilation system going, and it is shunting. Like, you can hear the fans clicking on and shunting the gas out of the morgue and special operations room outside.
Because nothing says like health and safety and OSHA as venting poisonous gas into the surrounding neighborhood and town. But
corrosive
yay.
even.
It's like they should have a button that locks down the morgue when things like that happens.
They should be doing this in a research facility and not a random VA.
They should, but they're not. Tom.
Tom's gonna reach over and like grab Judy's wrist, not like a mean way, but yeah, he's a strong boy. But he's kind of holds her just a second. Are you sure?
I mean, that might cause her to hesitate. It sounds like someone might need some help down there, but if Cooper was wearing some sort of gas mask, let me see if I can find something.
If you gotta go, I'm not gonna let you go down there alone. So I'll go with you. Just you tell me what you want to do, and he'll stay with you. And if you decide to go downstairs, he will go in front.
Yeah, I guess her thought would be, I don't know, Mr. Cooper was wearing something. He was wearing that gas mask for a reason, and if someone is exposed to something down there, then we don't want to get exposed to it too. Let's see if we can. I mean, I don't know that the hospital would have like gas masks lying around as equipment, but she will maybe attempt to improvise something.
You can probably find at least some sort of a ventilator. You would know where to get one. Not to even say that there's probably a supply room
Probably oxygen tanks, like the
Yeah.
overly heavy ones that they put over their mouths.
Yeah, I'd say you can probably find all of that in the supply room that is, down in the basement.
Well, thankfully, people in a zombie story don't know they're in a zombie story.
That's true. You haven't even seen a zombie yet.
Yeah,
No.
just gunshots.
Yeah.
Harry Cooper also would have pulled off the mask once he got up onto this floor. So he is now holding it once he got through that doorway.
So just punch him and take it. No, I'm sorry.
mean,
Wrong
An
character.
option.
So if Judith says yes, we need to go downstairs,
Uh-huh.
little Tom will post up to the guy and go, "Well, if we're going to go help. Give her that," and he'll, not so much ask for it as tell him he's giving it to him, and if he hesitates, he will take it from him. He's not going to deck him, but she kind of needs that, and he'll start to reach for it.
Okay. You want to give me an intimidation?
No, I'd rather not. I'd rather just give in and think this is the best idea, and he's going to get out of here. But I'll roll it. It's a 5 because I have Jack of all trades.
Oh Lord.
He's just gonna look at you and say, "You can't take that from me. I need that."
All right, now we'll just try and snatch it from him.
Okay.
Just an 11 to hit.
Okay. That's enough to hit him.
Not, like I said, not trying to hurt him, just
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying to,
Yeah, you can.
trying to rough him up a little bit.
I'm
You can
gonna.
yank the map. You can yank the gas mask out of his hand when you do that.
Yeah. I'm not quick, but I'm a big strong boy.
You
So,
are.
yeah, pull that back and then I'll hand it to Judith.
Okay.
I'll bring
That's
this back when
government
I'm
property.
finished.
You can't do that.
We're going to go help him. And then I'll look back to Judith and start walking towards the entrance because he's going to go in front.
Okay.
Without the gas mask.
Well, yeah.
You guys will hear the loud whirring sound of the ventilation fan being activated. Barbara.
Barbara is going to shakenly stand back to back with her brother and is going to still be holding the scalpel in one hand and her bag of tools in the other hand, and it's just kind of like, it's okay, I got it, and it's just gonna stand there with the scalpel expecting the zombie to just come running in and get, like 3 inches away from her and definitely just accept the knife, the small scalpel as her line of defense.
I mean, you do have a bone saw.
Yeah, but that's not like, you can't like, that's not like a one-handed weapon, and so she's, yeah.
Okay.
Plus, she doesn't really know what's going on. She just kind of took weapons, and so she's just like, this
Fair
is the
enough.
handiest thing to her.
So are you guys still going to stay in the boiler room, or are you going to wait till it gets around to Johnny and then possibly...
I'll wait until it gets around to Johnny to see what he's wanting to do.
Okay, I'll move you in the initiative to be next to him. Ben.
I'm
Mr.
gonna
Cooper
draw
is
my.
yelling at the receptionist. Tom just stole the gas mask and is about to walk down the stairs with Judas next to him.
I'm gonna draw my gun and say,
Okay.
Judy, you need to return that to the director.
Dang. I guess Judy's gonna be insistent because, I mean, her response would be, "But if there's something going on down there, someone could be getting."
Click. They have people down there. We need to follow orders.
Stepping in front or between you two at that. You just need to go on.
It is not your initiative yet.
No, talking's free. Jesus.
This is an emergency. We can't have a breakdown.
If it's an emergency, that's all the more reason, isn't it?
The director was just down there. He is giving us orders. We need to follow them.
You take your orders and we'll go down there.
That's not what's going to happen.
You can come with us if you like.
We don't need to be down there. We need to be here.
I mean, you were literally on your way down there until you saw that.
Until the director gave me an order.
Well, we work here. You're just a patient. You do whatever, but you don't need a gun in a hospital.
Meanwhile, there are more loud gunshots downstairs.
Yeah, I let them.
Hence
speak
my
for me.
point. There should not be guns in the hospital. This is not right.
Look, I can't let someone die
Sir,
down
what
there
are
because
your
I'm stuck up
orders?
here.
Sir, what are your orders?
I mean, at the moment, he's yelling at the receptionist and not paying attention to you. He'll then turn, when you say that, he'll look back over to you and say, "We need the hospital locked down. Nobody can get in or out."
Can you help me with that? I look over to Judy.
Judy's gonna just like look towards the basement stairs, to Ben, to Tom. If we can do it quickly.
Let's go.
So the good news you would know is that there are really only 3 ways in and out of the hospital. There is the front entrance, which is where the receptionist and Miss Harry Cooper are currently at. And the receptionist is in the middle of, going and securing the front doors. There are a set of rear doors on this floor, which will lead out to the gardens and cemetery. And down in the basement is the loading bay, which is where the ambulances can, dock when they're not like actively being used. And you would all know that there are several army vehicles parked down there as well at the moment.
So literally the worst place to take a zombie. I said like the worst place to take a zombie, like just a big giant open like window that they can run out of. Awesome. Awesome.
Hence the title.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so if you're going to help lock down, first priority would probably be the rear entrance on this floor and then down into the basement.
All right, rear entrance. Let's go.
And she will move briskly because she wants to get downstairs as soon as she can.
Okay.
Are any of the army people wearing like walkie-talkies, or is it all?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if like Johnny and I are hearing anything like through their walkie-talkie, like if anyone's explaining anything through the walkie-talkies.
Not really, not at the moment.
Okay.
Uh,
Like, do we know that they're now trying to close up the hospital or anything like that? Like,
yeah, so as it gets around to Lieutenant Glover's and Harry Cooper's actions, over the walkie-talkies of the soldiers who are in the hallway, you will hear Lieutenant Glover saying, Hospital needs to be locked down. Nobody comes in or out. You will also see him step out of the morgue by himself and locks the doors to the morgue from the hallway. And then he looks at the 3 soldiers who are on this floor and says, "Guard that door. If anything tries to come through it, shoot it."
Anything? Surely you mean anyone, right? Anyone?
You're not there.
I know. That's why I said it.
Johnny.
Okay, so we've got the thing vented. I want to head. I want to head upstairs. Barbara, why don't you grab a couple of those walkie-talkies right there and point to some of the maintenance walkie-talkies, which are obviously on a different frequency than the government military ones. And then I went to grab my burglar tools. Just in case. Just in case.
Barbara will see you grabbing those and be like, "What do you need those for?"
You never know where you might need to get in or out of something. We need to look upstairs and see who else is around, see what else is going on.
She will pull out some sort of one of I'm trying to look at like what 1969 autopsy like tools would be, just so that I am not saying like, oh, I'm gonna pull this device out. So it's full of different types of scalpels. So she'll pull out, now that she's kind of had a moment to like regroup, she'll put her tiny scalpel away and she will hand Johnny one of the larger scalpels, and then she will take like there's like a medium length scalpel. I don't know if they're scalpels, but they're kind of scalpel-esque.
I've got a tool belt and I've got one of those oversized red wrenches.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I if necessary, I can get it ahead.
And puppy, you know what you need? A bone saw.
Yeah, but in 1969, they weren't like the fancy bone saws that we have now. They were like literally like a saw.
Yeah.
Big and clunky.
This big sharp thing, yeah.
And a power outlet.
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, if you look at your character sheet, you will see that the bone saw is listed as one of your weapons.
I know, but I googled what a 1969 bone saw looked like, and it's not the kind of bone saw that we have. It is like a saw.
Yeah, which means that if you swung it at someone, it would really fuck them up.
Yes.
You can use it as a bludgeoning weapon.
But so would the giant scalpel I'm looking at too, that is double-sided and pointy on one end.
Yes, but you have advantage while using your bone saw.
Oh, I didn't know those things opened.
Yeah.
It's like the gears.
Yep. So.
Is that what I thought the little pluses added. Oh, that did add things.
The pluses add, but the little gearbox next to them.
If you hover over it and you see a gear on the right, click on the gear and it'll expand.
Oh, then fuck that. I got the bone saw in my hand then.
Yep.
We should try to get upstairs and see what's going on. There's obviously some sort of gas leak or something.
Yeah, apparently it makes them go crazy. She will pull out her phone and start Googling what this could possibly be.
Nope.
Okay. All right. At this point, then, it sounds like everyone is going to go upstairs. The morgue is locked down. The morgue loading bay is locked down by soldiers. And Lieutenant Glover is going to come upstairs, and we're going to try to reestablish some order here. So, yeah, let's drop out of initiative.
Do we run into, do Johnny and I run into, what was that, Judith and Ben
Probably.
or Tom?
I'm going to say, for the sake of convenience, everybody kind of runs into each other near the entrance to the stairs on the first floor.
So kind of like on a landing part of the stairs as it's wrapping down. Okay.
So once you're up there, Lieutenant Glover is going to start ordering his men to, maintain the lockdown. He will also instruct a few of them to start, he sends some of them down into the basement to make sure that the vehicles are secured and whatnot. Harry Cooper is going to kind of look over all of you and, realizing that you're not in Lieutenant Glover's chain of command, but you've all reacted to this as if to help. And he'll, say, I appreciate all of you jumping in as things happened. On behalf of your government and the Darrow Chemical Company, we need help.
What's happening in that basement?
Well, I can certainly tell you it's not good. The stupid experiment that they've been working on clearly couldn't be contained. And you will hear her voice kind of get more aggressive just because now she's like angry that they're endangering all of these people, not just us.
Mm-hmm.
What's that
So
about?
if you ask him,
Experiment?
Yeah. So they wouldn't let me in the morgue. Oh,
Cooper's going to say, why don't we all go away from prying ears and go over to the cafeteria, and I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Well, Judith needs to know what this is to know how to help, so...
Barbara will not go relatively quietly. She will continue to kind of not loud, like not yelling, but she will definitely not be talking in a hushed tone about what's going on. Yeah, so she will continue describing what they saw and what was happening down there as they're walking over to the cafeteria. Just kind of like, everybody deserves to know and not be left in the dark to make their own decisions. And will passive aggressively follow the director, or who'd you say it was? It was Cooper?
I don't think there's much passive in your aggressiveness.
Yeah. All right. Well, so if you follow Cooper to the cafeteria, quietly or not, he will basically say, so, in answer to the question of what the hell happened, I don't know all the details. Privately, I'm not just here on behalf of Darrow Chemical. I work for the CIA. The agency sent me here to oversee these idiots and make sure they don't fuck it up.
Like they just done.
For all the good it did, yeah. I certainly don't trust the lieutenant or his men, though.
You say that, but it seems like the dumbest place to bring something like that was to a hospital full of patients.
Right, which the military did.
Something like what? What are we dealing with?
Some sort of toxic gas.
Yes.
It's corrosive and burns the touch.
It's called 2,4,5 trioxin. It's a herbicide of some sort. You don't want to breathe it, that's for damn sure. It
Never
burns.
seen an herbicide do that.
What?
She's just muttering under her breath, like, I've never seen an herbicide do something like that before.
And of course, like you said, it burns and it stinks. I don't know what Glover and his boys had planned for it, but it can't be anything good.
What do you mean by that? You haven't seen
So,
Tafoya do anything like that before?
well, I've never seen anything.
I'm talking to the morgue woman.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I guess you wouldn't know me. The people that come visit me don't usually know who I am. Well, what it did was, not only was there a disgustingly smelling green gas that came out of the special, what is it called? What is the room called? The special operation room. But a woman came out. Her clothing, what I can only assume, was dissolved off of her body. She had a incision. I didn't recognize her, right? Like, oh, I did recognize her that I'd done the autopsy on her.
You did the autopsy on her.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was just like I recognized the incision because somebody had done an autopsy on her. Oh, okay. So then I'm like, no, she was completely naked. I had just done an autopsy on her, and somehow she was capable of moving and attacking a soldier as she came out of the room. And by attack, I don't mean she punched him or scratched him really hard. I mean she sunk her teeth into his head.
I'm looking for some indication that she's escaped from the psych ward.
Who, Barbara?
Yeah.
Cooper will say.
Well, to be fair, I'm also like wrapped up in my like lab coat and like
Right.
holding a bone saw in one hand. So yeah, I don't look sane or stable.
Cooper kind of says, yeah, well, you're not wrong. She was dead as hell.
I'm sorry, what?
They had her lying dead on the slab. They exposed her to the trioxin, and the next she was awake and screaming. I don't know what the Army and Darrow are playing at, but I think they're probably trying to turn these corpses into some kind of weapon.
And the gas does that.
Apparently. I mean,
The gas that, and I point to the fan, is being vented outside as we speak.
no, the gas that has already been vented.
Well,
What do you
how?
mean? What do you mean they exposed her to the gas? There were at least 3 soldiers that I could see coming out of that room that weren't wearing gas masks like you and the lieutenant. And they didn't seem to want to eat brains.
What happens?
She will say very sarcastically.
What happens when living people are exposed to this thing?
Don't know. They were wearing gas masks. When she jumped off the slab, one of the first things that happened were their masks were dislodged.
So somehow that relatively petite woman was able to come back from the dead, rip off multiple soldiers' gas masks, gnash her teeth into one of them's head, hopefully killing him because God only knows what's happening to him right now. And she's still down there?
This
Well-
goes a little beyond my medical training.
I'm guessing she didn't need to be very strong because, I don't know, I wouldn't be expecting a corpse to jump up off a table and rip off my mask.
No, but it takes considerable strength to bite through a skull.
Yeah, I have to use one of these things, and she shakes the bone saw, the bone saw at the.
Please don't wave that around.
Did you not shake that menacingly towards me?
I'm assuming that if Glover came up here, that they managed to put down anything that was in the basement. He probably wouldn't leave his men behind.
We saw him leave them behind, correct?
You saw Glover come up the stairs by himself?
And we saw him tell those 3 soldiers to stand by the door and not let anything out.
Right. That's not leaving them behind. That's telling them to...
That's leaving them behind.
Yeah, that's giving them orders.
Leaving them behind is they're injured or something, and he runs off on them.
Yeah.
Well, I know they didn't have gas masks, so...
Just going to make 2 cups of coffee and sit back down with Judith and give her one. Just going, yep.
Say, anyone who would like can also give me a insight check.
Sure, I'll roll my insight at -1.
What are we...
Damn, I got a 16.
What are we inciting?
If you're trying to get a read on Cooper to see how truthful he's being.
Okay.
Certainly seems suspicious enough.
Okay. I was just trying to see, like, if it was, like, medical based. Like, I have medical things that are better, so I was gonna use those. I got an 18. Oh, no, that was Jonesy. Hold on. Where did mine go?
You got a 7.
Oh, no, that's Calvin.
No, it's Calvin. Yours didn't show up.
Yours hasn't shown up.
Technically, mine's a 13.
Why is yours a 13?
Jack of all trades.
That's weird. I also got an 18.
Let me... So, 18. Okay. You are all, literally all of you except for Judith, who believes he is 100% being straight and honest with you.
That's my sweet angel.
Bless your heart.
You all think that nothing he told you is a lie, but he also isn't telling you everything.
This is a life or death situation we are now in. What aren't you telling us?
Barbara will set her bag of autopsy tools down on one of the tables in the cafeteria, and we'll pull out one of her other scalpels. And we'll be like, yes, Cooper, I suggest you tell us the whole truth.
Oh, yeah, threaten me. That's going to help you right now. Look, I told you, I work for the CIA. I am not authorized to tell you everything. But you certainly know, I have shared everything I know about the trioxin and what they're doing. And I know that I don't trust Glover.
Why not? Like, what do you mean by you don't trust him? You don't trust him to handle an emergency correctly? You think he's trying to sell the poison to the Russians? I mean, what do you mean by that?
No, I trust him to be a good soldier and do whatever the army tells him to do, regardless of how many innocent people get killed in the process.
You know I'm bad with names,
Uh-huh.
so I just need a quick confirmation. Glover is
Uh-huh.
the guy who had the gas mask that Deuce took, right?
No, Cooper,
That's
the guy
Cooper.
you're talking to, is the one who had the gas mask that
Right,
Deuce
right,
took.
okay. Have I come across Glover yet?
You have seen him. He is the lieutenant in charge. While you guys have been talking with Mr. Cooper, Agent Cooper, Glover has been ordering the soldiers around to double check exits. He has sent a few other soldiers down into the basement.
Would you say we've been hanging with Mr. Cooper?
No.
No, I would not say that.
Hey, I already made that joke.
Who?
So, yeah, at this point, though, the hospital is fairly well barricaded. Well, not barricaded, but blocked. Despite all of the earlier panic and mayhem, at this point, things are just kind of quiet. There is the lashing of rain outside and the occasional crack of thunder. And then you start to hear it. It's muffled and distant, but there are people outside screaming.
Outside the hospital?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Okay. Like outside the windows and stuff. Okay.
Yep.
I don't know if it was outside like the room we're in or outside the hospital.
Hey, Cooper,
Yeah.
how does that gas interact with the environment? Like, I don't know, would it dissolve in rain and then come falling down out of the sky?
I don't know. He will move his way to a window and go, oh, shit. Does anyone else follow him to the window?
Yeah.
Okay. So out the back of the hospital, not too far away, there is a cemetery.
Of course there is.
Of course there is. Yeah.
Of course there is.
Convenient.
You can just barely make out by the occasional flash of lightning where the gas had been vented out from the hospital and is kind of just low, almost oozing across the floor, across the ground. But as the rain hits the gas, the ground smokes and hisses as if it was touched by acid. And then you see one of the gravestones sway and topple. A hand, a decayed hand, bursts through the ground and starts pulling a body up. And then another. And then another. And then dozens of hands are breaching the surface of the earth. And as they rise, they all start screaming in the night air as if they are in incredible pain and shouting, "Brains! Brains!" And I think we should go to break.
Ooh.
What idiot vented that poison?
They're back from the dead and ready to party. All right.
Your boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble.
Is that John Coltrane?
Okay. We are off to break. Are live.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for sticking with us through our break. We are still the Untold Stories Project, and we are still doing a sneak peek of Evil Genius's Return of the Living Dead cinematic adventure for Everyday Heroes. When we had left our heroes, they had discovered that the army was doing something with a gas in the morgue that brought a woman back from the dead, who then proceeded to eat the brains of a soldier. They vented the gas out of the morgue, which, you know, I'm sure was a fine choice. Realized that probably a few other dead people are down in the basement at the moment. And got some information from Agent Harry Cooper, who was with the CIA. Then they discovered that the gas that had been vented is mixing with the rain and apparently bringing back the inhabitants of the cemetery that is nearby. So, you know, typical army fuck up. And yes, we left off with all of you realizing that there's a veritable horde of bodies coming out of the cemetery outside. And Cooper is just like, oh, shit. So, what are you guys doing?
I really miss when I wasn't worried about what was behind that door.
Cooper appears almost frozen with fear at the moment.
We need to barricade every door and every window on the first floor. Let's go.
As you guys decide that, you see Lieutenant Glover running towards you and saying, "You were just at that window. What's going on out there?"
Look for yourself.
He does.
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Pulls out his walkie-talkie. All right, men. Not just locking down. We now need to barricade. We have incoming. And immediately the soldiers start trying to, shove desks, empty hospital beds, gurneys against any door or window that is on the first floor.
I look over to Judy and say, all right, looks like they've got that covered. We need to get the patients up from the first floor up onto the second and higher floors.
I was trying to see if Resourceful would help with anything to do that. Probably not, but she is going to, now that she has a task, now that she has the things she can do, she will go round up as many nurses as she can and start working to get the patients moved.
Okay. Do you want to take them up to the third floor, or which is where the less seriously injured people are, or up onto the second floor where the psych patients are?
Probably, third floor if possible.
Okay.
What resource will apply here? Let's see. And it's more of a crafting thing for
Yeah.
tools. No, I don't think I could craft a way to make this faster.
All right.
All right. Tom's sticking with her because he is not leaving her side at any point now. But I can push some beds. That's no problem.
So with the assistance of the other nurses, you will start getting a organized system of getting beds where possible wheeled, if not possible, transferring patients to gurneys and moving them up the and that's all relatively easy to do, although you do notice that the nurses are terrified, and several of them kind of, as you're moving a patient into the elevator and it's just like the two of you and a patient, will say something along the lines of, we're all gonna die, aren't we?
And even though she is scared, she's going to do her best to keep the nurses calm and just say, I know it's been pretty scary out there tonight, but we've got to worry about our patients before we worry about ourselves.
But, I mean, those are dead people out there.
You'll hear Barbara just go, well, why do you think the mortician's up here? And she'll laugh. Trying to break the tension of everyone panicking.
All right, so Tom and Judy and I guess Ben are working on moving patients. You will hear some gunshots coming from downstairs.
And she is just still going to try to keep the nurse team, she's just going to say, the army is going to take care of that situation, but we have to focus on what we're doing right now.
What are they're shooting? How can you shoot? Yeah, there's a whole lot of panic.
Me being Ben and remembering Ben's, I don't know, penchants from the movie, I will slap at least one nurse to knock some sense into her.
Yeah, that tracks.
In the original movie, Ben does a lot of punching and slapping.
He does. Is anyone going to look out the window and see what's going on?
I probably will when, not as a point of, going to the window, but, if I'm near a window, I'll check to see how things are going.
So you will see the occasional flash of muzzle fire from the first floor. And you'll see the dead get impacted and knocked back and even scream in pain, but then keep coming. As they get shot at.
Okay.
Shortly after you get all of the patients from the first floor up onto the third, are you going to move the psych ward patients on the second floor or not?
If there's time. I mean, I'm less worried about the second floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more about getting them off the first floor.
Yeah.
Because, again, she doesn't know what kind of story she's in. Her focus was getting people off of the first floor, since there's maybe something in the basement still.
Mm-hmm. So while you guys are moving patients, Glover will come up to you, and he'll come up to Ben actually, and he'll say, he'll look at you and go, Corporal, I know
Yep.
you're not one of mine, but I appreciate seeing how you and your friends, I guess, have jumped into action.
We gotta do what we gotta do.
Absolutely. We've got men barricading downstairs. I assume you're trained with a rifle.
Yes, sir.
All right. We've got some spare weapons that we can distribute to you and your friends. We can spare a rifle and a couple of 9mm.
Thank you, sir.
I need you to do something for me.
What's that?
You seem to have struck up a relationship with Mr. Cooper. I don't trust him.
Why is that?
He has been constantly undermining my authority,
How so?
asking questions that he is not cleared for the answers, and urging experiments to be conducted out without adequate security in place.
Is that so?
I know he is with Darrow Chemical, and it's their product, but I don't know. Something doesn't feel right to me about him. And if you have his trust, then I would like you to try to, well, see what you can do about keeping an eye on him.
I can do that, sir. You should know. He's not just with the chemical company.
No?
He's CIA.
Well, that's its own level of disturbing. All right, I'm going to try to get a phone through to Washington, find out what they want, how they want us to proceed. I'm gonna trust that you and the rest of my men can keep things calm and under control for now.
Don't know if you've noticed. The guns are slowing them down, but
They're not
only
stopping
slowing
them.
them down.
I've noticed. Okay. I'm gonna, like I said, go up to the director's office, try to make a phone call.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Johnny and possibly Barbara. I'm not sure if Barbara was helping move bodies or not bodies, patients or not.
So I'm actually going to try to find a phone
Okay.
and get an outside phone line
Okay.
and try to call the police and the fire department and let them know that there's some sort of chemical leak near the hospital. It seems to be poisonous, so please coordinate off the area so we don't risk exposing anyone else in the immediate vicinity.
Okay. When you get a hold of someone, probably do you call police first or?
I will actually call the fire department first because it's a spill. I'm, and not,
Sure.
like a crime. At least that's how I'm going to try to play it off.
Yep. All right. When you get a hold of the fire department, you will be told that they have already been contacted by the Army.
Oh.
And they have established a perimeter. There are apparently several platoons that have been dispatched, and the U.S. Corps of Army Engineers have been instructed to come up with a plan. But they appreciate your information. They're first going to ask, where you are and if you're someplace that is safe.
I am at the hospital and no, I'm not safe.
If you are inside of the hospital, you are probably as safe as anyone within the area can be. Stay tight. We will attempt to have someone evacuate you as soon as possible.
I don't know if this is a thing yet.
What?
Medical airlift has to be, I think, at this point. Lifeline, life lift, or whatever they called it.
Lifeline.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we have several patients who need to get, to be relocated to a safe environment for to keep them stable. So if we can arrange transport or something immediately for these folks from another hospital nearby town or something, that would be ideal.
Okay. We'll see what we can do. Just like we said, sit tight for now.
Being the cynic I am going to go to the others and tell them that help is not on the way.
Okay.
When he does that, I'm going to share. I'm going to address all of them. We need to get out of here.
Help is not coming.
Yeah, but also much, much worse than that. And I will share with them what the lieutenant plans to do, and my supposition that they're probably just going to destroy this whole area. They're going to level it because the bullets are not stopping the zombies. And so they're going to have a typical military reaction. We need to get out of here. We've got distrust amongst the CIA and the Army in one building with an unstoppable force.
Okay.
We need to be a place that is else.
Well, if we can risk the basement again, there's we can get the motor pool. There's several Army vehicles and ambulances down there.
I know the ambulances really well. That won't be a problem, but he'll look to Judith for confirmation and/or guidance because he's still going to follow her lead.
But what about? I mean, there's a whole bunch of patients here, and then there's the rest of the staff.
We can the staff, anyone able and willing and able to move should move with us. But unfortunately, it's it's going to come down to not everyone's going to get out of this. We need to save as many people as we can.
I don't think a ground escape is going to be something we're going to be able to pursue. We're surrounded.
Well, there's no other option unless you can sprout wings and fly.
I'll look over to Judy. Is there a helicopter pad on top of this hospital?
Is there a helicopter pad on top of this hospital?
There is, in fact, a helipad on the roof of the hospital.
Yeah, but if it's storming, a helicopter can't land.
Is there actual helicopter? Or is it just the landing pad?
At the moment, there is just a landing pad.
I mean, the military vehicles are made to go through brush and barricades. If we just need to move through the people, we could drive through them, and then the ambulances can follow, and they would be okay.
Are there military grade vehicles down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, army jeeps and like. Is it just army jeeps, or is there like is there also like one of those trucks, the flatbed trucks with the tarp stuff over it?
Not the flatbed trucks with the tarps over it, but there is a Humvee.
Is there any security cameras or anything like that set up anywhere in the hospital?
That's spoken like someone from the year 20.
I just Googled it. Thank you very much. And there was a security system that would have been available in 1969.
Yes.
The security camera was, a fun fact, actually invented by a black woman. So that's pretty dope.
That is pretty dope.
I mean, I'm assuming it won't be good, like, now footage.
Zoom
But I'm just
enhance.
yeah.
Well,
Clear
wait a
this
second.
up. All of a
I
sudden,
also just Googled it. The first one was invented in 69.
and it's
The first one
1969.
was invented,
And
Does not mean that they are going to be widespread.
Yes, and
or even available.
they would be for government use at this point, pretty much, and
we're in a military hospital.
we're in the
We're
VA.
in the VA.
We're not.
We're
in,
not in.
Yeah, that's true.
They're going to be at like Quantico and
Yeah, having worked
Langley.
with people worked with a company that fixed the equipment at VAs. I don't recommend ever going to a VA to get any sort of procedure done.
This is gonna like a single bolt lock on the drug cabinets and stuff. That can easily be popped. And not that
Not that you've tried or anything.
not just Johnny would know anything about that, but
Yeah.
So Barbara would have been trying to go back downstairs to the basement.
Okay.
She would not she would have been helping patients like kind of as she was working her way, but she wants to go down and see if there are more. Because she keeps hearing we keep hearing gunshots, but they don't seem to be multiple gunshots.
Well, at this point, most of the gunshots are being fired out of the hospital at the horde approaching.
Yeah. And if gunshots aren't working, that's all we heard in the basement. So she would kind of like to know.
Okay.
mean,
Can we just assume that the woman you autopsied is still down there and not have to go confirm?
It's not so much that I want to know if she's still there. I want to know if the other soldiers have turned.
Why?
She's a mortician.
We will
She's
be going-
interested in the dead.
we will
And-
be going down there anyway at some point, so you can find out then. Okay? I
She
just don't want to. I just don't want to store the hornet's nest, then have to go through the hornet's nest later,
Yeah.
just in case.
I don't know how much she would have really told you guys that she was doing that.
I mean, if you just want to go down while they're attending to patients and Johnny is trying to call the police and fire department, you could have gone down there.
Yeah, I guess just because we're not hearing any fighting back down there, and that woman was very aggressive,
Uh-huh.
I feel like we should be hearing more fighting back. And
Fair
if
enough.
gunshots aren't working, obviously, like, are we just walking down there to, however many soldiers were abandoned down there? She will have one of the mechanic, the maintenance walkie-talkies with her. She'll have had taken one of those with her.
Okay.
So she'll kind of be
Um,
like assisting patients as she's like making her way over there, kind of.
Sure. Also of note, Ben, you had been given one assault carbine and 4 9mm pistols.
Yep. So when I do actually get those, I will hand the 9mm to each of my fellow PCs.
Okay. Fellow PCs, if you would like to add to your combat box on your character sheet what a 9mm pistol does. A 9mm pistol, if it probably won't matter, but go ahead and just open it up, and the PV of a 9mm is 2. The damage is 1d10, and it is modified by your dexterity. And it is not a military weapon. It is, you just need to have advanced proficiency, which I think everyone does. So you are all proficient with the 9mm.
Sure don't.
Huh? Oh, no, you don't.
Nope.
I am also not proficient in anything like that.
You said it was a PV2?
PV2.
Oh, I do have proficient. So when it says equipment proficiency is advanced, and then I have military underneath there, does that mean
you are trained in military weapons.
Oh, okay.
So you are most certainly proficient.
Okay. So what you said the okay, I'm trying to figure out how to fill this out.
All right, so what you want to do is under attack, you want to put the ability as dex.
Hold on. Wait. So I'm under weapons. Is that not where I'm supposed to add it?
Right. So expand it with the little gear.
Okay. Yeah, got that.
Then in the attack box, set that to dex. Crits on 20.
You mean ability. Okay. Ability. Okay, so you said dex. Okay. Crit on 20.
PV2.
Okay. PV2. Okay.
Damage is 1d10.
1d10. Okay.
Ability is dex.
Okay.
Type is ballistic.
Okay.
Then down under weapon type, advanced.
Oh, is advanced? I don't have advanced.
You click on it, it'll be a drop down.
I know, I don't have the word advanced.
It'll say not
Should
proficient,
say-
basic, advanced. It'll be the third one down.
No, I have basic, advanced, historical, improvised, military, MISC proficiency,
Right,
and
you just said basic,
You said
advanced.
advanced.
oh, fuck me. Okay.
Range is 100/200.
Okay.
Reload is bonus. And rounds are 21.
Okay.
And
But
properties, none to speak of.
How about mine?
Huh?
How
Yes,
about
you
mine?
have an assault carbine. Give me one moment. Let me pull up the assault carbine. All right, assault carbine. PV3. Damage is D12. It's still attack bonuses dex, and it's damage bonuses dex. Its range is 800/1600. Reload is bonus, 30 rounds. And then under properties, two-handed and burst.
Okay.
What burst means is by firing a burst of 3 rounds, you can, you do 2d12 of damage, but you attack at disadvantage.
Okay.
Because, trying to hold the gun steady as it burst fires.
Pray and pray.
Yep. So. All right. Barbara, going down the stairs, you will see that there are 2 soldiers who are actively kind of a combination of, 2 soldiers and 1 sergeant, loading things out into one of the vehicles in the loading bay, and also keeping watch on the door to the morgue proper.
Okay. I'll have kind of come down and I wouldn't have come all the way down, just kind of enough to see what they were doing and to see if any crazy shit had happened. And then I will come back upstairs.
One other thing of note, though.
Mm-mm.
You do hear banging coming from the door to the morgue.
Does it sound like more than one person?
Probably.
Cool.
And by banging, I mean fists on.
Yeah, let me in, please, kind of things.
So it was like a headboard against a wall. That would be so much better.
Let us in, let us in, let us out, let us out.
And you think you might hear some muffled speech.
Cool. Cool.
You want to try to listen in, or?
Yeah, I think she'll try and yeah. Because what she wants to figure out is what happened. Obviously the bullets aren't working, but what will work? And yeah, she's gonna listen.
So you can hear a voice that says, Bobby, I know you're out there. I'm hurt real bad. You gotta open the door and get me out of here. That woman is trying to find a way out on the other side, back in the special operations room. You gotta open the door and let me out. They're gonna kill me, man. And you can see that one of the soldiers is listening and Bobby, we promised that we'd do anything to protect each other. You're my brother.
None of them seem to be, other than the one, seem to be reacting, but the other ones kind of are just like,
remember, they're in the process of moving stuff out, and so it's kind of one of those where the one soldier and the one sergeant are just kind of head down, not paying attention, but you can definitely see, presumably Bobby, kind of keep looking.
Bobby's gonna get us all killed.
Huh?
Bobby's gonna get us all killed.
And then, are you still just watching, or? So Bobby is going to turn to his sergeant and he's going to say, Luke is you can hear him. He's still alive. He isn't one of those things. We've gotta do something for him. Private, your orders are to keep that door closed and locked and help us move the remaining supplies onto the transport. But Bobby's alive. Damn it, Sarge. And the sergeant will then reach down and pull out his gun.
There we go.
Private, you have your orders. Doesn't shoot him. But Bobby goes back to loading what looked like well, now that you're looking at it, it looks like they're moving bodies.
Oh, fucking hell, man. Do I recognize any of the bodies? Like, do they look
I mean,
like...
they're covered, but the shape is
Oh,
right.
they're in like the... Well, do I see any like distinguishing marks that I would have made, like that they would have come from things I was doing?
No, I mean, if you could look at the toe tags, you would know who they were, but
I didn't like, there's no like markings on the outside, like, you know, like that I would have made.
No.
Was this kind of patient kind of thing?
No.
Okay.
That said, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
I swear to God, if I roll a 3 again, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Do you want to see this? Heck no. Enjoy.
How about a 17?
So, Barbara, you, as you are watching the soldiers and watching Bobby and all of that, you hear a shuffling behind you.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
And you turn with enough time to react as looks like a maybe 50-year-old man who you remember doing the autopsy on. He died of a heart attack. Trying to sneak up behind you.
Okay.
Barbara, roll for initiative.
Oh, great. Cool.
You got any Werther's original?
It was nice knowing you.
Oh my God. I rolled a 5.
Sure, you'll be fine.
My initiative is -1.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Dang it, Bobby.
Damn it, Bobby. Ah.
Let me
Oh, I didn't click on my token when I rolled. Does that mean it
Yeah.
doesn't count and I get to roll again?
Huh?
Does that mean it doesn't count and I get to roll again?
No.
Damn it. I should have known. There's 12. Fuck. There are 12 bodies in the morgue.
There were.
Yes.
Oh.
12
It felt-
bodies.
It felt weird that you specifically gave me that number. I was like, I feel like this number is going to be important. And I did not, I literally just put 2 and 2 together. They bled off all that gas just hit every one of those bodies.
Yep.
No. Not every one of them.
Almost.
Hit every one of them and all the people they also killed.
No.
Like Bobby.
No. Bobby's the one who's outside. He's not dead yet.
Bobby's loading propane and propane accessories.
Only Bobby was loading propane and propane accessories.
That would be
Yeah, I'm just
useful.
gonna go ahead and rename Grunt Fort as Bobby.
Because all I'm going to say is that, fire does ag to everything in other games. Like, I'm hoping it does ag in this game too. I'm just glad we didn't have to roll for humanity check with poor Bobby. Just that, yeah, that would have been, all you World of Darkness fans out there.
Yeah,
I
I feel like as a caregiver that she would, if the soldier people weren't there, she would have gone to open the door to save Bobby.
Probably. So Barbara, the sergeant, and Bobby are not aware of what's going on. They're surprised this round.
Ooh.
But that also means that they didn't notice you.
Yeah.
The zombie is going to come near you and swipe at you.
Swiper, no swiping.
Swipe left. Swipe right.
Not a match. Not a match.
Will a 17 hit your defense?
Bishop
Where-
by 1.
where
I'm
is-
pretty sure it will. I think your defense is probably somewhere in the 12 to 15 range, but
My defense is 14.
so you will be hit. You are going to take 9 points of damage.
Ooh.
Zombies are strong.
Okay, where do I put that at?
So on your character sheet,
Is it
Right below your big stat blocks with the skills, there should be a.
That's
yeah, it
max
says max
temp.
and current.
current,
Okay.
would be 9 less than your max.
Cool, my max is 15, guys.
So you're currently at 6.
I mean,
Halfway there.
hold on, I do have something.
You do. You have several somethings. I don't know if any of them are particularly relevant at the moment, but you do have several somethings.
Says, oh, I have a saving throw. Okay. I was like, I remember there was something about like because I was accustomed to death.
Yes, you have advantage on saving throws
Saving,
for
yeah.
being sickened.
Yeah.
Which
You
does matter.
surprised me, so.
Oh, I forgot. You have a dexterity of 8, don't you?
He's squishy.
Yes.
You
Is
are
my
better off using your bone saw than using your gun.
Unsurprised. I should be
Huh.
more skilled in knifery.
Okay. Now that he has swiped at you, I need you to give me whichever is better, either athletics or acrobatics.
Oh, athletics. Acrobatics is -2 or -1. Okay. Oh,
You do have inspiration if you want
But a hero point.
to, essentially.
how much? You said I have 3?
No.
Well, because I have 0 inspiration.
Oh.
I have 3 influence.
No, I gave you a point of inspiration, didn't I?
I have 0.
I thought I did when you and Johnny were being all heroic downstairs trying to save each other.
Oh, I did not hear if you did.
Oh, I meant to. You and Johnny both have a point of inspiration. So would you
Well,
like to use your point of inspiration?
I would absolutely like to use because that 6 isn't going to do shit for me.
Probably not. Oh my god.
You dead?
For those playing our home game, that's a 4.
Oh, yeah. So I went from rolling a 4 to getting a 4.
You
That's
get to
not-
take the better.
It's not the direction you want to go in. You want to do a higher.
Yeah, great.
I mean,
Great.
I could not get it be the 6.
You could roll a 1, roll 20.
It's
You're
possible.
Daisy if you do.
All right.
Chaz, I'm trying to manifest the 1 on this day.
Jesus fucking Christ. God damn it.
There's a 1. There's just another number there, too.
Yep. So you're grappled.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Zombies get to bite as a... Or no, they don't get to bite as a free action. The grapple is the free action. So he can't bite you yet.
It's the 1960s. Does she get to scream as a damsel in distress as a free action?
Oh, screaming is absolutely a free action.
Okay.
As soon as he slices at her before he grabs her, she would have been going, she would have just been like, nope, really loud.
Uh-huh.
And then as soon as he grabbed onto her, just, I mean, as loud of a possible scream as she could.
Yep. Barbara, you're up.
Well,
Now, being grappled, you can attempt to escape with the same check.
which obviously has been super successful for me.
You can... I think you can attack and not try to break. Grappled. A grappled character's speed becomes 0. They can't benefit from any bonus to their speed. You can just attack him instead of trying to break the grapple.
How exactly is he holding me?
He has grabbed you with both hands and is kind of crushing you.
Like holding like my arms? Like
Yeah.
at the shoulder? Because in my head, every time you guys say grapple, all I can like it's just like a really aggressive, like they're just hugging you, like holding you onto your body. Like that's what I think of every time you guys say that. But I'm
It's
like,
not wrong.
because I've one hand has the bone saw, the other hand has my long scalpel knife. So
Okay.
I'm going to attempt to raise my arm and stab him in the head.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah. So I'm using the scalpel because the bone saw would be more of a hack, and I don't really think I can get a backwards angle enough, but I think I can pull up and stab him in the head.
Okay.
Okay, so do I just roll it the way that it is? It should read the D4 plus 2 thing.
Yeah, just roll the attack.
Okay.
And if
Guys, this is why I don't like zombie things.
yeah. Hate to tell you this, but a 7 is not going to do it.
Stop rolling a D4. You rolled a 2, 3, and a 4.
Yeah, but the bigger issue is the 7 to hit.
Yeah, that's what you rolled the 3 on.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Is there anything I can do to get to roll again?
Not really.
Okay. Cool. I guess I'm gonna be a zombie.
So next turn, start of the second turn, trying to think who might be close enough to hear her scream.
All the soldiers downstairs.
Oh, the soldiers downstairs definitely heard, and they are going to act, and they are going to try to save her.
I mean, how close is the meeting room? Because if everybody's in the meeting room, I guess I should scoot myself down there.
Did you want us to make a perception check to see if maybe we heard her?
Yeah, I like that idea. How about a perception check from the party?
Because if the meeting room is at least close to the stairs, I would assume it would kind of echo up the stairs because she's going to be screaming as loud as she can. Jesus, Judy.
She's very distracted because she's trying to figure out how many patients she can fit on however many ambulances are available.
Uh-huh.
And I am dutifully helping you with that.
Yeah,
Apparently.
it's like I don't know you, girl. I'm out.
She's
What
but
about Johnny?
she's doing the math and it's not working out.
Math is not mathing.
Oh,
Apparently, we're all going between the second and third floor, and we're just not hearing anything.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah, I
Tom
was
is
gonna say,
close enough.
Tom's the only one that heard me.
Tom, why don't you roll initiative?
All right. 21.
Okay. You still didn't select your token.
Earth to
Yeah.
Nature's home.
Tom, you hear Barbara screaming from downstairs.
Look up. Hey, Johnny, I think your sister's in trouble, and he'll go running down the steps.
Okay.
I do like the fact that none of you guys noticed that I left.
Tom, for the sake of drama, I will say that you will run down the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, you see a dead, naked guy grabbing Barbara, holding her tightly, and pulling her close to try to bite her. What would you like to do?
We're going to dive on his back and try and wrestle him off of her.
Uh-huh.
Because she is also covered in blood, and yeah, he's still a good guy. So we'll reckless this to make sure we hit.
What does reckless do?
So I get advantage on the roll, so it's an 11 instead of the 9.
Okay,
But they also have advantage to hit me on until my next turn.
fair enough. I'm assuming you were not power attacking?
I can't do both. I can only do reckless or power attack.
Ah, okay. Are you going to try to pin the jump?
Oh, absolutely. But depends if I actually hit or not.
Okay. An 11 will just hit.
That's plenty good. Then yeah, I will try and pin him, which I don't need an attack roll ability check. It's just automatic. And we're well, I guess do I have to roll athletics to grapple him as back?
Yes, you do have to grapple him.
Okay. And then I will pin automatically if I grapple him.
Yep.
17.
Yeah, that might do it. Yeah, where'd my zombie go? $13, you beat him.
So he and I are both restrained until the grapple is broken. As I pounce on his back and yank him off of her, and we're wrestling on the floor, and I'm trying to hold him down.
Okay.
Are you okay? Oh my God.
The more important part of this grapple is that by grappling him, he is no longer grappling Barbara.
Oh yeah, I'm happy I've wrestled him off of her.
Barbara will just look down at her arm that has been slashed from the zombie and just be like, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I don't think so." And she'll she'll kind of look around to see, because she can't now, she's like not focusing. She wants to wash. She wants to go to the wash station, and she's like can't remember where it is, and she's just panicking for a second while she's looking at these, slash marks on her arm.
Mm-hmm. Fair. Oh yeah, and you can't use a defensive order on yourself.
Yep. I can heal a lot of other people, I just can't heal myself.
Yep. Sucks to be you. Right. So Tom, you have grappled the zombie. The sergeant is going to see the zombie that had grabbed Barbara and is now being grabbed by Tom. The sergeant is going to do something incredibly stupid.
Please don't shoot me.
As long as he doesn't crit fail.
Hmm.
But he is going to be attacking at disadvantage because he's shooting into melee.
I mean, it should be even because he should get advantage for the thing being restrained.
Fair. Okay.
Should even him out.
Yeah. 22 will hit. He'll actually inflict some damage on the zombie. Not a lot, but some. So the sergeant unloads with a loud crack of his rifle. The high velocity round hits the zombie, and the zombie howls in pain, but doesn't seem to be all that badly bothered by it.
Where did he hit the zombie?
Probably center of mass in the chest.
Okay. So shooting like he's shooting at a human, not.
Yeah.
Okay.
What he's trained to do.
What was that?
That's what he's trained to do.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Was like, did he go for a headshot, or did he like just think some organ that I know will stop working will make you stop moving, kind of thing?
Yeah. So you say you and the zombie are both restrained right now?
Yep.
What does that mean?
He'll get an even roll against me.
Okay. Well, then he's going to try to break free of the grapple with you.
Sure.
Or I guess since you are
He can break free with opposed athletics, or he can just attack me as a normal attack roll. Because he technically gets advantage to attack me because I'm restrained, but he gets disadvantage to attack me because he's restrained, so they just cancel each other out.
Fair enough. Well, in that case, he's going to try to bite you.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because you're already grappling, so.
Absolutely.
The bite attack can only be used on someone he's grappling or being grappled by. But.
Question, Aaron.
What?
Question for you. Before Tom ran downstairs, he did yell to me that my sister was.
He did.
So. I don't know.
I'll let you go ahead and roll initiative as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Somebody save Barbara.
I think Barbara's safe right now, and I'd be worried about Tom.
That'll hit.
That'll hit. He will do 7 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And Johnny, you got a 17 on your initiative. That would actually have put you before the zombie and before the sergeant.
That's fine though, because it also makes sense for me to go after, because the whole like what, huh, and for me to take a couple seconds to kind of process what he said. So
yep. So I will put you in right after the zombie.
Cool.
Yeah. So you come running down, and you've heard what you will see.
So yeah, I go bounding on the stairs. I see what's going on, and I would like to take my giant wrench and introduce it to the zombie's jaw.
That seems reasonable. You will get to make this attack at advantage because the zombie is restrained and you're not shooting into melee.
That's an 18.
That will most certainly hit the zombie.
With the 10 bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
I'm basically trying to if it's doable, like I said, I'm trying to go for the jaw, because I'm basically trying to. I don't want him to be able to bite anyone. So
yeah, no, that makes sense. So 10 bludgeoning damage. You smack it hard, and
It's fine.
Like he has damage reduction against bludgeoning damage.
Imagine that.
Like you're pretty sure that that would have dropped any normal person.
Yeah, kind of figured.
Bobby is going to be brave and stupid and jump
Hey,
onto
Bobby.
the zombie and stab at it. Because he's realized that nothing seems, the bullet wounds don't seem to be doing anything, and punching it doesn't seem to be doing anything. And I need to roll that twice because no, that doesn't help. He can't quite get in there without stabbing Tom. So he stabs but does nothing. Barbara.
Barbara's gonna pull her shit together
Uh-huh.
and is going to take the bone saw and attempt to just hack at the zombie's jaw.
Okay.
Where's my bone saw? Here it is. I swear to.
You can roll again because you do have advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem to matter. It just seems.
Wait a second. There's something weird going on with the roll.
No, it's doing the bonuses.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where that -2 is coming from.
That I don't know.
Let me look at your character.
My bonus is a -2.
It shouldn't be.
That is what it says. Is a -2.
It's +2 for strength, +2 for proficiency, but yeah, the -2 bonus, I don't know.
I'm trained or something.
Oh, it's because it's
Improvised?
it's an improvised weapon. But
yeah, the
it's
weapon
your
type is basic.
right. But because it is your signature weapon, I believe you should be able to ignore the improvised. So let me take that off there. Would either of those hit? Well, let me see what those would have been without the -2.
A 9 and an 8.
That still wouldn't have done it. But okay. Sorry. Tom?
Oh, it's me again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to keep him held. And, sure, we're going to reel back with the right knee and drive it into this thing's sternum. And since it took a wrench and didn't seem to flinch, we will power attack and hope for the best. So -5 to this. Nope, just a 9.
I'm gonna say, you can't do the submission move, which automatically hits. You just can't use the power attack.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll hurt him. Well, the other thing is we have an offhand too, so give him the other knee. Feed them both.
Okay.
A 13.
So both of those will hit.
No, the first one's only a 9. That one will miss. The second one's a 13. Yeah, it's -5.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. The 13 will hit.
Then the 13 doesn't get, since it's the offhand, does not get the full +10. It only gets +5, but that's still 5 bludgeoning damage.
5 bludgeoning damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bam, and it's just like hitting a big slab of meat.
Yeah.
Which
And
is what it is.
yeah, and that keep us both restrained and go from there.
Okay. It is, however, getting quite late. So, as Tom, the sergeant, Bobby, Barbara, and Johnny try to wrestle down this zombie, we're going to go ahead and walk away from our heroes for now. And we will try to be back here next week. So thank you all for joining us tonight. If you have enjoyed watching what we are doing, and specifically enjoying Return of the Living Dead, please check out Evil Genius Games and the Kickstarter for Return of the Living Dead. There should be a link in the description to the Kickstarter. It will be going live next week. So if you click on it, you can be notified when it goes live. And everyone who notifies to go when it goes live will get a little bonus if they back it. We are in a bit of a flux for our regular schedule for shows. Freedom League Dark did end last week. Do you guys have anything planned for tomorrow, or?
Not presently.
Okay. So we will have something happening in the coming days and weeks. Check our socials and Discord for more information, and we will keep you apprised. If you're enjoying what we're doing, please support us at patreon.com/UntoldStoriesProject. Players. We'll go around the table so everyone can say goodnight and mention anything they want to mention. Let's start with Barbara, because they're coming to get you, Barbara.
I don't even know this movie to even know if I'm doing what she would do, but I feel like the fact that you guys keep repeating that to me, that I'm definitely doing exactly what she would do.
So it's important to know that while these characters have the names of the main cast of Night of the Living Dead, they are significantly different. But that's because this is the incident that inspired George Romero to make the movie. Because in the universe of Return of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead is an actual movie that was made.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. I was trying to just be informative, and then I got eaten. So, awesome. I don't really have anything. Just to come back on Tuesdays. Hopefully I will get with Alex and we will get a more definitive schedule for the upcoming one-shots for Wednesday, as well as any of our sneak-in Tuesday one-shots as well. I think that's it. Play a game. Deuce.
Thank you so much for watching. However you do, those watching live, always glad you're here. Makes it much more interesting. Those watching after the fact, leave us a comment. Tell us what we did well, what we did poorly, or what you would do instead. Just glad you're here. And also, as a slight reminder, to be careful when wandering around a hospital so a naked old man doesn't try and jump on you and eat you. You know, things. That's real life advice from the Untold Stories Project. So with that, we'll go to my little honey bunny, Calvin.
That's really useful advice for the average experience.
It happens all the time.
U.S. medical system, man.
What is it they say about suspiciously specific advice?
You should always follow it.
Right? Yeah, like I said up top, I literally saw Return of the Living Dead this morning. I had a quick breakfast so I could squeeze it in before work. So it has been the vibe of my day. So I've been enjoying this. It's been really fun to actually have to deal with that situation and pretend to be a person who doesn't know what genre's story they're in. So yeah, looking forward to coming back to this part 2 of this story. As well, we did recently finish the current arc of the Freedom League Dark series last week, so please go check that out because it was real fun. Other than that, if you are on YouTube, please check out the Win with Dice channel, where we have weekly tabletop RPG podcasting. The podcast should be back tomorrow if I get my editing done. And I think that's about it for me. So I'm gonna pass it over to Jonesy.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in tonight. I've been actually having a really great time. So thank you, Aaron, for that. Looking forward to seeing more about where this goes. Because of all the zombie horror movies, this is actually one I've never seen. So I'm a little in the dark. So I'm enjoying it though. With that, kick it over to Jenny.
Well, I think much further in advance than Calvin, and I watched Return of the Living Dead last night.
Woo!
I was
Um,
gonna ask you where you were streaming it when you posted about it, because I had to find it myself.
I'm having a wonderful time, and nothing really to plug. So like always, be kind to people, especially yourself. And I think I'm the last one, so I will pass it up to Aaron.
All right. That is it for those of us at the Untold Stories Project. And in the word of Tarman himself, more brains. Bye.
Zombie Calvin wave.